Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you want a gorgeous dashboard that has your most used links in an easy-to-use layout and nothing has been forgotten? Are you ready to spend hours developing this dashboard instead of doing paid work and still never being happy with it? Are you ready for a random update to break all your hard work and constantly need tweaking? Then keep watching.
Yes, hi, hello, I am Jonathan Pritchard from iCanReadMinds.com, and in this video we are going to talk about building a dashboard in Obsidian. So if you are obsessed with having everything at your fingertips and have it in a nice, neat arrangement, I'm talking directly to you. If you have never used a dashboard and you're curious about what it is, I'm talking to you. If you are a longtime user of dashboards, I'm also going to speak directly to you because, spoiler alert, I'm actually not a big fan of using dashboards. So I want to tell you my philosophy of dashboards and why I don't use them, what I use instead, and show you how to build it out for yourself using a couple of the core plugins and maybe one or two community plugins that will have you way more productive than you might be otherwise. So if you're intrigued, then stick around. If you're not, well then stick around. You might discover something absolutely fascinating. See you on the inside. So if you're still here, incredible. You're gonna make it all the way through. I know it because let's talk about dashboards. And I come from having used Notion. My wife and I collaborated on our move from Chicago to the mountains of North Carolina, where we are now, and we were able to both add what items were going into this box and then number it and then put it in our database. And then we knew not only which room that box went in, we also knew what was in that box. So if we needed something right away, when we got into North Carolina, we could go, all right, where's this thing? And it would tell us what box and what room it was in. It was fantastic. It was gorgeous. And at that time, I was all in on having a dashboard where my life was here and my health was here and business stuff is here. And I just had it all laid out. And I spent a lot of time making that thing. And then I realized I didn't use it that much. I didn't wind up using it hardly at all. And I realized that the dashboard was a step between where I wanted to be rather than just going to where I knew I needed to go, because I've got a couple businesses, I've got a lot of hustles and side projects and personal stuff. I've got a lot going on, but I know where it all is in my vault because it lives where I put it and it doesn't really move. So when I need something, it's right where it needs to be anyway. Add on top of that, the dashboard. How are you supposed to use it? Well, when you start the program and you've set it to be the dashboard and then it gets you into where you need to go. Well, I don't restart the program all that often. I don't restart my computer all that often. So I don't actually wind up starting Obsidian from scratch. Maybe once a week, if that. I mean, if anything, I've got a bazillion tabs open, and instead of just looking through the tabs and finding the correct one that's open, I'll just open whatever note or document or project I'm working on, and it's probably open 4 or 5 times, and it'll just stay that way until I just close all the tabs. Like that's how I work. I might have some pinned tabs of things that I'm always wanting to keep track of. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I do like to keep track of some things like my weight, how that's doing. And I do have trackers on the side. So instead, I like to have a broader picture available to me all the time rather than having a dashboard that I would have to go visit and then click out of because I went somewhere else. Instead, I want my whole operating environment to facilitate me getting work done and getting straight into it rather than having to go to this layout and then click something when I could use a keyboard shortcut or put whatever it is that I need as part of the interface itself so that I never lose sight of it. And you'll understand kind of what I mean when we dive into the screen share and I show you what it looks like. So for those reasons, I'm not that big a fan of dashboards. Now, I know if I made a how to create a gorgeous dashboard video, I would get hundreds of thousands of views, but I couldn't live with myself because it is out of alignment with how I actually use Obsidian and my philosophy for why I use it in the first place, which is to be effective, not to make it look pretty. It's kind of like if the sign of a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind, what does a clean desk say about you? It's that kind of thing. I would rather walk into a wood shop and it be messy and that guy makes incredible furniture, or do you walk in and it's pristine and everything's really impressive and he puts out maybe one piece every year, every 5 years, but he talks about all the exciting things that he's building. It's that feeling to me. So that's why I don't use dashboards, and I'm not going to tell you to do the same. If you are in philosophical alignment with me, then I think what I'm going to show you will really resonate with you. And to that end, how about we get out of this talking head and get into the computer and we'll look at what I'm talking about. See you in a second. And here we are in the desktop environment, and let's go ahead and start Obsidian. And voila, we are back into the YouTube demo vault, same as I left it from the previous Obsidian video. And this is basically how I use it from the get-go all the time anyway. But let's just make a couple tweaks to this. For example, if you did want to have some things open, for example, we could say package tracker. This, for example, could be a bunch of stuff that you've ordered from Amazon. It's ordered, it is in transit to you, and it has been delivered. So you could set up a Kanban board or something like that. Well, you could pin this document and then something else fun goes here, and there you go. These are the two things that you just keep open all the time anyways. Well, check this out. I believe this is stock behavior for Obsidian. I'm going to hit Command Q to quit Obsidian completely and then start Obsidian back, and look at that. It comes right back to whatever it looked like to begin with. So if you leave it how you liked it anyway, and then close out the program, when you open it again, hey, it's right back where you left it. It just remembers how you left it, and I really appreciate that. Now, there are some people who are very strange, and they don't feel the same way. Maybe you want it to be clear. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But the first thing that I want to show you, apart from this, so I guess the second thing I want to show you is this plugin. It's a core plugin, and it's way down here at the bottom, and it's Workspaces, save and load workspace layouts. We are going to turn that on, and we're going to create one. These are the hotkeys. So I am a really big fan of using hotkeys and to create whichever one you like. I really appreciate about Obsidian that it doesn't come with a whole bunch of hotkeys pre-assigned and cluttering up your hotkey mental space. It's up to you to create one that you like, and if you make it, you're way more likely to remember it and therefore use it than you are to try to learn what the developers thought you should use to trigger a certain hotkey. But even if you don't use a hotkey combination because you just don't want to remember all of that for something you use not that often, I'll show you how to use this. But basically, load workspace loadout and manage and save and load another loadout. We don't even need these because say this arrangement is how we like it. And maybe we'll split down and here we go. This arrangement is what we like. All right, the one hotkey to rule them all that you want to remember is Command P or the command palette. Make that whatever you like. And then you can save and load another loadout. We can say normal. Actually, I thought it would remember that. So core plugins, workspaces, save workspace. So we're finding all the things here. All right, well, blank, load workspace layout, save, and press hotkey, Control Shift save. All right. So now Control Shift S, type layout. Okay. All right. Here's another thing where I did this a long time ago for my own thing, and you might have gone through that same kind of this isn't working thing. So manage workspace layouts. Here's where you can do this. So let's see. Oh, not that one. Command P, workspace. So manage workspace layouts would be the one that you want to do and say, this is the normal arrangement that you like. Okay, so now we've got normal. But what if you want a completely clean arrangement and no split window, and you don't want the package tracker open? You just want a blank new tab and you like this one. Okay. Command P, workspace, manage. I'll call this one clean and save. Voila. So now, Command P, spaces. There we go. So manage workspace layouts, and then you can type in here, call it something else, right? Or you can save, load another one, and let's say we go to normal, and it goes right back to the layout that we have. And then maybe we want to drag that over, and we want our tags to be visible over here, and we don't want this here, but we do want to stack tabs and that kind of thing. And since we've got a lot more visible in terms of information available to us, well then workspaces, manage, and we'll talk about tracker, save. Or we could have bookmarks and have it this way and have this collapsed, and then call this work arrangement. I don't think it's saved. Nope. Work. There we go. So this is incredibly handy if you have one vault for everything that includes your business and personal and projects and all that kind of stuff. I'm a fan of doing it that way because if you want to link to something about work in your personal life and you've used completely separate vaults, then you won't be able to link very easily between that. So that's why I'm a fan of having one vault, but you can have multiple workspaces that have information arranged the way that you want. So to me, the workspace management is kind of like a dashboard on steroids, because instead of having to go to a dashboard to go click on something to go somewhere else, you can just call up a different workspace and everything that you need for that kind of work is already where you expect it to be. And it is much bigger than this dashboard with a whole bunch of links and doodads and widgets that you can't see when you're actually in here doing work. But the workspace gets out of your way to get you into doing the work. So that's why, to me, dashboard is the appearance of being productive, whereas workspaces are how you are actually productive. Now, I want to show you one extra thing because you might run into a certain challenge, which is at the core of Obsidian are daily notes. Like that's at its heart. And as of the time that we're recording, the video I made about daily notes has more than 70,000 views, which is incredible to me. So thank you if you watched that. I genuinely appreciate it. If you haven't watched it, I'll add a link to that somewhere here in the video. So if you get in the habit of using your daily note as your one catch-all place, and then you pull out those details into new notes, which I have a video about that as well. I think I titled it something like Break 'em Up, and it's called refactoring. It's a thing that you don't know that you need until you realize it's possible, and you go, oh my goodness, why didn't I know this a year ago? So if you use your daily note as your catch-all and you put everything in here and then break it out, right? Maybe you would like your workspace to have your daily note. Okay, so then workspaces, we've got this here. So maybe we're at the tracker and then we want to manage that and load the daily note there. But as you can see, it's got today's note as part of the layout. Tomorrow, if I called up this layout, well, it'll be this note, not that day's daily note. So that was a really big frustration for me, and I couldn't figure it out until I did. And that's what I want to show you right now with another plugin. So here's what we do. We go to Community Plugins, Browse, and we look for Homepage, and it was updated 3 days ago. That's awesome. And you install and enable, and we can go to the options. And now this is when you start Obsidian, what is it supposed to do? So you can tell it to enter a note or a canvas. So if you're a visual thinker and you've laid out a whole bunch of stuff and you kind of have a dashboard that way, you can make it load any note or canvas and a lot more because it can do all this other stuff. You can tell it to open the daily note from your usual arrangement in your standard workspace, or you can tell it to do nothing, which is kind of standard behavior. I don't know why you would want it to do that, we're adding this plugin for it to do something, not do nothing. You could have it load to graph view. Graph view is gorgeous and it's pretty. I don't really use it all that often, so you might like the visual. Ooh, neat, if you tend to start Obsidian on a daily basis. You could do a random file, which some people enjoy the random file because, I haven't thought about that in a while, and they like that little hit of dopamine. I don't like that. What I prefer is to load a particular home, like workspace, and let's say that we want the tracker version of our workspace, and then we can say, when launching Obsidian from scratch, open the home page. So this is it. Open when empty, so there are no tabs open. You've closed all the tabs. You can tell it to trigger this arrangement, which is kind of weird. Like, if your workspace has a whole bunch of tabs in it, and then you closed all your tabs, it will automatically bring back the tabs you've got in your workspace. So if you want that, cool. If you're not expecting it, it is really disorienting to see it happen. And you can say, all right, open it normally. And like if you open an Obsidian file or something, it'll do this, right? Now, this commands is really how you're going to supercharge the layout and the workspace. So if you've used a hotkey like I have of Command D, I'm going to leave this plugin for a minute and go to hotkeys and then search for daily note. I've set Command D to be open today's daily note. So that's whatever day it is, it'll open today's daily note. So now when we go to community plugins and go to homepage again, and we go to the settings, now we can add daily note. So if it's in the command palette, it'll be right there for you. Don't even need to use the hotkey, because normally I would start Obsidian, I'd hit Command D to bring up today's daily note. I don't even need to do that anymore. So what I do is click Daily Notes, open today's daily note, and there it is. What else do you want to do? You can do all this stuff, and it can go in that sequence that you like. So you can programmatically recreate dynamic layouts that are going to be the same every time, but with the variables like it's going to be today's daily note instead of just this note I've saved in this workspace. So I may be over-explaining this, but I wanted to cover this properly so that you can really see and appreciate how complicated and intricate you can get with chaining all of these commands together. So now you can read through all of that as you like, but basically that's how homepage is going to go. And we will quit Obsidian and then start Obsidian again and see what it does. So there it is. I know it doesn't look like it did anything because actually, you know what? Let's remove this and then workspaces, manage there, and then call this one tracker. We will overwrite that and then load tracker. And okay, so now we've got package tracker is pinned here, but now when we quit Obsidian, open Obsidian again, and then it opens this daily note, you know that it's today's daily note, not today's daily note that is part of that workspace. So maybe I should have waited until tomorrow to be like, hey, it's tomorrow. But you get the idea. if you want it to open today's daily note, we've got it because Homepage has done that for us. So there you go. That's the kind of why I don't use dashboards, how I use workspaces and why, and then how I turbocharge it with Homepage. And then that's it for the screen share. Let's get back to the good camera. So how'd that go? Are you a convert? Were you a dashboard user and now you are a workspace lover? Were you thinking about using dashboards and now you realize I don't want to spend all that time to do that? If so, I would love to hear from you about how your thinking has changed or not. Really, I read every single comment. I try to respond to every single one. So if you want to leave your thoughts, I will read it. I don't have an assistant that does that. So sound off. Let me know what you're thinking, and I would love to know how this came across for you, because when I let go of the dashboard and embraced getting to work instead of making it look like I should be getting to work, I wound up being way more effective. And to me, I like being effective more than being productive. I think that might be a whole video, and if you'd like to know what in the world that is, yeah, tell me in the comments as well. If you got any value out of this, then yeah, give me a like. That lets me know that you'd like to see more of this, and it tells YouTube that, oh yeah, maybe we should show this to more people as well. So that's what I wanted to show you here. And a reminder that if you haven't seen it yet, go watch that daily note video. It should be on the screen here now or soon. And if you want daily doses of applied psychology for life and business, I highly recommend that you sign up for my weekday newsletter called The Persuasive Professional. I talk about Obsidian here a lot, and I use it to create all of my work that I do in a professional capacity for consulting and speaking and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to peek into that side of what I do, I'll see you over there at icanreadminds.com. And in the meantime, remember, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.